When my wife Emily said, "Marrying you was a mistake," the room went silent. Everyone laughed awkwardly, except me. It wasn't the first time she'd thrown a line like that, but something about it felt different this time. Maybe it was the careless smirk, the brief flicker of her eyes on mine before darting away. I forced a laugh, trying to mask the sting, but inside, something shifted. It was my best friend Jacob's birthday dinner. The table buzzed with laughter, clinking glasses, and light-hearted chatter couples usually share. I had organized the evening for Emily. Work had stressed her lately, and I hoped an outing might bring us closer. But there she was, leaning into Jacob's girlfriend, whispering something that made them giggle, while I sat quietly, realizing I no longer belonged in her world. Over months, she had grown colder. Touches became mechanical, affection rationed, and every question I asked about her mood was met with an eye roll. "You're overthinking, Ryan." That night, under the warm glow of the restaurant, her words "marrying you was a mistake" didn't feel like a joke, they sounded like the truth she'd long wanted to voice. I raised my glass anyway. "To mistakes that make us stronger," I said. Nervous laughter followed. Emily glanced at me, maybe expecting pain, maybe disappointment that I didn't react. She thrived on reactions. Silence unsettled her. Later, in the car, she laughed. "Oh, come on, Ryan. You know I didn't mean it." I stared out the window, watching the streetlights blur. "Sure," I said. "Just another joke, right?" She sighed, dramatic. "You're impossible. I can't say anything around you." I said nothing, because deep down, I understood, every relationship has a breaking point, and hers was hidden in sarcasm and laughter, waiting for me to stop pretending it didn't hurt. That night, lying in bed, she turned away. I stared at the ceiling, silently promising, if she wanted out, I'd let her go completely. The following days were quiet, the kind that follows a storm. Emily acted as if nothing had occurred, humming while making breakfast, scrolling her phone, pretending the dinner words evaporated. But I couldn't escape the echo, "Marrying you was a mistake." I began noticing details, the way she flinched at my touch, how her smiles were reserved for others, how she went out more with coworkers. One night, she said she was meeting a friend for drinks. I simply nodded, "All right, have fun." No questions, no suspicion, just distance. That hesitation in her eyes told me she wasn't used to me not caring. I had cared too much for too long, years of trying to be the husband who made her feel loved, respected, safe. But Emily was a ghost, never enough, never satisfied. Quiet, boring, predictable, her favorite words. I once believed change would bring her back, but it only pushed her farther. A week later, I came home early. Her car was in the driveway. Laughter came from the living room. Expecting TV, I froze. A man I didn't know sat opposite her, his hand resting too comfortably on the couch. Their laughter died when I stepped in. "Ryan, you're home early," she said, voice shaky. The man rose casually. "Mark, from work." I nodded slowly. "Discussing projects at home now?" I asked, noticing untouched coffee. "You're paranoid," Emily said, rolling her eyes. I smiled, calm, the same way she had at dinner. "No worries. Just another joke, right?" Silence returned, heavier this time. Something had ended. That night, I didn't sleep beside her. I packed a bag and stayed at my brother's, not from anger, but because something inside me finally went quiet, the part that begged for her love. 3 days later, Emily called, her voice softer, rehearsed. "Can we talk?" Curiosity or closure led me to agree. We met at the same restaurant where her joke had cut deep. She arrived differently, hair tied, minimal makeup, tired eyes. For once, no defensive wall. She avoided my gaze. "I shouldn't have said that," she murmured. "I was stressed. I didn't mean it like that." I waited. "So, how did you mean it?" Her lips trembled. "I don't know. I just feel we've lost the spark. Everything's routine. You don't surprise me anymore." I wanted anger, but all I felt was the truth behind her cruelty, emptiness, not hatred. She wanted excitement, even if it destroyed us. I leaned back. Love isn't fighting for each other. It's not making someone beg to be wanted. Her eyes widened. Ryan, I don't want to lose you, she whispered. I smiled faintly. You already did. You just haven't felt the silence yet. Heavy quiet settled. She tried to laugh it off. You're dramatic. I stood, leaving bills on the table. Remember when you said marrying me was a mistake? She froze. Eyes glistening. I breathed deep. I couldn't agree more. Silence filled the room. I walked away. No anger, no heartbreak, just peace. That night, I drove aimlessly until the city lights faded. I stopped at the lake where we once held hands freely. The water shimmered under the moonlight. I realized, letting go isn't giving up. It's choosing yourself. And for me, that choice came disguised as freedom.